I'm Dana Healy, and you're listening to Cities Speak. Welcome back to City Speak. This election, Councilmember Abdulle was elected to serve as a city council member for the city of New Brighton. He is the first Black and first Muslim immigrant to serve on this council. There were 2 open seats with 6 candidates, and now we have Councilmember Abdulle to come here and talk with us about his vision for the future of New Brighton. Councilmember Abdulle also served 6 years in the Minnesota Army National Guard and is now an associate transportation planner for the city of Minneapolis. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Dana. It's great to be here with you today.
Tell me a little bit about the campaigning process. How did that go for you? Did you enjoy it? How did you connect with our neighbors?
It was really tough because every step that we have to take or every campaign related activity that we have to think about, we had to think twice because we're thinking about keeping people safe and making sure that we don't endanger people's health, while at the same time trying to get our message across. I came to this campaign with less name recognition or without any name recognition. I was new, so I knew that I wanted to make sure that people kind of hear about me. So what we capitalized on mostly was online and digital media connection, having our social media platforms ready and updated with information, building our website and making sure people can read about the ideas that we are running on. And also having means of communication that people can get to us, like they can find our emails easily, they can like direct message us on Facebook. Well, that worked very well. We did also direct mailing, so we kind of mixed some of the like tried and tested methods of communication and some of the newest methods of communication, and it worked very well.
So did you have a team that helped behind the scenes to help you campaign, to get your materials out there? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Absolutely. One of the greatest things and something that I'm really grateful for is people that were very willing to put their time and resource and money into our campaign. Not mostly like time contribution to this. So we had a lot of volunteers that were willing to put in time, almost 3 days out of the or 3 to 4 days per week. We had people on the phones making some phone calls. So that mostly our staff were not paid staff. I had one campaign manager that was kind of working on a part-time basis. And that was necessary because while I was running this campaign, I was still working full-time. And I'm a young parent as well, so I have a young son at home and a wife. So I had to kind of balance things between my like how I use my time for the campaign, while also kind of juggling all these other commitments that comes with life. So. But I'm very grateful for the efforts. People reached out to me to kind of offer their help and the ways that they can help with my campaign, whether it's kind of help me with taking some photos or maybe kind of spreading the message in different circles or making some phone calls for me 1 hour or 2. So it was that was kind of like, I hope that gives you a little bit of feel of what my campaign was like at the behind the scenes.
That's great. So what are some of your focuses? What do you want to work on first for the city of New Brighton?
Well, first of all, I would like to kind of like give recognition to our existing council members and city leadership. The city is not in crisis, which is great. So I'm really happy to say that, especially during this time. However, there are still a lot of challenges. The city is increasingly becoming a diverse community. We're welcoming many young families to our community and also diverse members of the society. So I want to make sure we continue to build authentic relationship with our community members, every one of our community members, and our public safety who director is doing great work right now to just build on that and not kind of like slow down on building a relationship with the community, and also kind of address any concerns that there is. So that building a relationship is one side, and then on the other hand, to ensure that the community is affordable for everyone that wants to live in this community, that we have housing choices for everyone, from the person that can only afford 30% of the area median income to the person that can afford on the higher end of that. So right now, I think the great things that we're starting at a place of advantage, but there is definitely room for improvement there. And also as a city planner, another thing that I'm focusing on is just making sure our streets are safe for everybody. Our crossings and making sure that and intersections, making sure those are safe for people, especially people on mobility devices, on wheelchairs and other assistance devices. So I think what I will be, even though those are my focus areas, I think what I'm doing as a start coming into this is just a lot of listening and learning from what is existing already, and continue to hear from the community members, and then go into a city hall with really the intention of representing the community to the best of my ability.
I think that's great. I really think that the city of New Brighton is going to be served very well by your city planner and transportation background. That's something that roads is really important for the city. So can you tell me a little bit about your upbringing and how has your past led you to where you are today?
Oh, that's a great question. I think so. I come from a family of, I could say, public servants, even though that was not, they didn't have like official public servant title, right? But so I was born in Somalia and I grew up there. I spent like most of my young adult, like not childhood there. But what I remember from both like my mother and my father's involvement was that they always kind of like looked out for the best interests of people. My father was actually a teacher, right? And a teacher, the traditional sense of things. He was a teacher, he used to teach people Arabic and some of the you call it Quran, but Quran, to teach people that, which was kind of like the basic education there. And the place that he was teaching that was where there was no proper or formal education methods. So that was the only thing that was available to people to like learn how to write and read. So he was doing that in a place where it didn't have a formal education and not to mention any salary for him. So he was contributing his time or like to the society, to the community. I think that kind of like just got, I kind of absorbed that, and it was within me. I just, as I was growing up and becoming of age, I had this natural like tendency to help people. I was not getting satisfaction from anything unless it's kind of for the greater good. Everything that I'm doing, I was thinking about, how is this helping people, not just me? Because like, so I think that hopefully that will give you a little bit of an idea how I am deciding to serve the community now. My service in the National Guard, like even my job in public sector is in public sector in the city of Minneapolis. My undergraduate degree was construction management. I could have gone the route of commercial buildings and residential buildings in general contracting work, but I decided to go for my city planning degree, and so that I can have this opportunity to serve in public sector.
So that's great. So your parents really kind of created this foundation of this public servant way of life, and now New Brighton gets to benefit from all of your skills. So if you could give your 10-year-old self advice as the man you are today, what would you tell your 10-year-old self?
What would I tell my 10-year-old self? I'd probably say just don't be afraid and go into the world with an open mind, and that is probably what I would say, because there have been times where I was kind of like hesitant, even though I had a lot of opportunities in my life, and a lot of calculated risks that I have taken that paid off. But it's always kind of like when every time that you are stepping into a new field, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. So I would just have told my young self to maybe just step into the world and just trust your gut, or like inner voice, which is always telling you you can be better.
That's awesome. Is there anything that you would like to say to the residents of New Brighton?
I'd say thank you. I'd say thank you very much for putting your trust in me and recognizing my leadership potential. I know I was probably the youngest. I mean, not probably, I was the youngest running in this one. I'm also one of the represent the younger, not just the younger, but the newer demographics in the city. But there are a lot of people in the city that came in the last 5 years or so. I'm a renter. I'm kind of non-traditional city council member, if you will. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity and showing the world that New Brighton is this wholesome and very inclusive community that appreciates not just diversity in thoughts and racial diversity, but also kind of diversity in also like who in many aspects of that. So I'd say thank you very much, and please, I want to make sure I highlight and underline that I ran to honestly and in an authentic way represent the interest of the public, of everyone. So whether we have disagreement in policy issues or not, please reach out to me and share your thoughts and ideas on how to make our city better. And I would be happy to see what I can do and work across the board to make that happen.
That's fantastic. So just to wrap up, if you were the City Speaks podcast DJ, what song would you play us off?
Oh, that's interesting, because I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I think the one that you were starting with was actually great, even though I don't know like where that is coming from, or if it's just original. Like, what song? I'll be struggling with it because I can't really come up with maybe maybe you have to like mix things up, or maybe create a little bit of excitement. Time Down for What by what's his name? Maybe that one.
That's a great one. I love that. Yes. Nobody said that one before.
It basically hypes everybody up before the conversation. So I think that would be a good one. And also, like, people think about city talk or city government work, something that is not as interesting. But I think starting with something like that would change that.
Oh, I love that. I think that's great. Yeah. So thank you so much, Council Member Abdulle. I really appreciate your time. And again, this is a platform for you to reach out to different residents. So if there's different initiatives going on at the City of New Brighton, please reach out. We'd love to have you back on.
Thank you so much. I really had a good time speaking with you. So thank you very much for inviting me.
Great. So you've been watching City Speaks. I have a special announcement for all of you out there. There is going to be a big change at CTV starting in January. We will be changing our name. You have to wait till January to hear it. But with this name change, we're going to be promoting a series called the Compass Programs. And there's a series of live listening sessions, unpacking controversial community issues through a panel of experts with different points of view. So click on the link in the copy of this program to learn more about it, and we hope to see you all there. You've been listening to City Speak. If you've enjoyed the show, please like, follow, and share us on social media at CTV North Suburbs. Thanks.